I no longer hope the narcissist in my life will one day get it. Y'all, if I had $1 for every highly sensitive person that looked me right in the face and said, yeah, but I want them to get it. God, I want them to get it. Anybody who has ever tangled with someone with low empathy and low maturity, which is what narcissism essentially is, has beat their own head against the wall going, they have to get it. Some of these people have degrees, they have higher education, they are CEOs of companies, these are highly intelligent people. They must get it and I will make it my mission. That's not right for our minds, our hearts, our bodies to have to be on a warlike mission to make the low empathy person grow empathy. It won't happen, y'all. If there was a way to make them get it, I would have figured it out. I'm convinced. Hello, welcome to the show. This is Emotional Badass, where Moxie meets Mindful. I'm your host, Nikki Eisenhower, life coach and psychotherapist, and on today's episode, we are talking about letting go of toxic relational patterns. So I'm calling this the no longer list to end 2025. As I walk you through this list, I ask you to squeeze all the therapeutic value out of it by noticing your emotions, notice your thoughts that come up in your head, and notice your body as I read through them. Notice which ones resonate, which do not. Notice if a very young or wise older part responds, if a part wants to defend or argue or dismiss. I don't think it's explained enough in healing or general self-development, this concept of how we get to know ourselves. To get to know our true, authentic self, it takes nuanced noticing and an ability to be honest with what comes up. This is different than letting our thoughts go to how we think we should feel or what we think is the right answer. Highly sensitive people tend to be very responsible people, and sometimes we take that personal responsibility too far. I see highly sensitive people all the time who take too much responsibility for what was learned in a dysfunctional childhood, and they own it as if it's their personality, as if it was always going to be their being, no matter what their experiences were on this planet. They're often very shocked if I start to point these things out as this is not personality. This is not who you are. This is what you learned. So I see sensitive people misunderstand and believe that their own personality is sometimes morose or judgy or negative or fear-based or full of a sense of lack, and that they're just stuck being like this. This is very icky to me because it plays into being the victim to how we were programmed. And we play powerless as opposed to powerful. We've gotten feedback from 80 to 85% of the population all of our lives who are not highly sensitive. They live more on the surface. We live in the depths. There are pros and cons to both styles and ways of being. One is not better than the other, just different. The people who aren't highly sensitive don't really understand what it is to swim in the emotional depths. So let's try on these ideas I'm going to pitch to you to see what they show you about more of maybe who you were born to be instead of what you learned in a chaotic or dysfunctional childhood. We become what we practice, y'all. So I bring you to the no longer list. Let's no longer practice these things and practice what actually works and serves us. So in no particular order, number 1, I no longer ignore my gut or talk myself out of what my gut says when it tells me someone or something is bad news. So growing up, what we were often told test taking from my era was to not go back and change your answer, that your first answer was generally the right answer. Now that's interesting to think of through an HSP intuition lens, isn't it? Was it that our knowledge got it right? Was it that our intuition chose it right? Either way, what does this say about us as sensitive people? When we have a gut intuition and then put energy towards ignoring it, talking ourselves out of it, What if our first intuitive insight is more often than not spot on? Number 2, I no longer allow my feelings to hijack my mind and body and get me stuck. I shift as intentionally as I would shift a vehicle into the next higher gear. Now, I'm not a fan that coddling feeling and emotion and human process has seemed to become fashionable. To me, there are big differences between processing something and over-focusing, obsessing, growing drama from. These are nuanced things that are hard to talk about because people get offended. And if they're being dramatic, most people are not going to say, well, wait, am I being dramatic? Gee, Nikki, maybe you're right. I am being dramatic. What if I dialed that down? Most people will just get more and more dramatic if some part of them is very keen on getting something out of being dramatic. So it's tricky to name. It's tricky to confront inside of ourselves and with other people. But I very much believe we are in a time where we have overcorrected listening to even our own emotions. This can lead to a stuntedness and immaturity, an overindulgence in emotional exploration to the detriment of life. Anything can be overdone. Anything can be underdone. And I think we underdid emotion. We underdid respecting the human experience of emotion for so long that we're really in the space of having overcorrected. As a people who feel a whole hell of a lot, as highly sensitive people, doesn't it make some sense that certain feelings have to take priority over other feelings? And that certain feelings just have to fall to the wayside? That not every feeling can be given a great importance? This is a big part of growing up, and this is a big part of emotional regulation. We know with, let's say, somebody that's bothering us, upsetting us, we know that we have to pick our battles. But do we know that we have to pick our emotional battles too? Because there's just not enough time in the day to pick every battle in this life, right? Maybe you have had a therapist that, in my opinion, doesn't know the art form of helping their clients discern within themselves what is worth my time, my attention, my depth, and what's just an old remnant. How can I flow more even while I respect my emotional self and process? So if you need more discernment in this area, maybe it's just hearing me say, yeah, of course, some feelings are less important and some are more. And you get to find that permission to discern the difference. I promise you, with intention and attention, you will grow into this discernment. Today's show is sponsored by Brain FM. Here's something I don't think gets said enough. Productivity advice for the general population doesn't work for highly sensitive people. HSPs need quiet. We need rhythm. We need our nervous system on board, not overwhelmed. Brain FM has been one of my favorite tools for many years because it helps me focus without the sensory irritation. It's not loud, it's not distracting, it's subtle sound designed by scientists to help our brains drop into flow. Whether I'm writing the podcast, going through emails, or trying to actually wind down at night or meditate, Brain FM gives me exactly what I need: support, not stimulation. Start your free 30-day trial at brain.fm/emotionalbadass and use code emotionalbadass for 20% off your membership. Use our link in the description to try Brain FM and support Emotional Badass. Your sensitive brain deserves tools that work with your wiring, not against it. brain.fm/emotionalbadass and use code emotionalbadass for 20% off. Here's another idea I have for you. I no longer let grief convince me I can't handle the pain. I'm going to say that again. I no longer let grief convince me I can't handle the pain. If this one resonates with you right now, I invite you to take a really deep, resonant breath. Here's a truth for me. Consider if it's also true in your life. I handle whatever life hands me. Always have, always will. And now, with more grace and ease every year I'm alive. We are in it as highly sensitive people, y'all. When we feel it, we are in it. We are fully submersed in it. We are head to toe, every cell, every fiber of our being. And when we're rocking out positive feelings, this is light and amazing and buoyant and joyful and awesome. And when we're not in positive feelings and those feelings are darker or heavier or depressive, we are in it like we are feeling a 5-ton boulder that just landed on top of us. This is when it's harmful to believe the ideas that are coming from such heavy feeling, like the idea of, I can't handle this. A more honoring idea would be, I'm tired. I've had more grief than my fair share. I'm sick and tired of this grief and loss and having to process it. I need a break from these thoughts, all those thoughts. Don't bring desperation. They validate the truth of what's going on without digging a depressive hole. I can't handle this is a depressive thing, a terrifying thing for my inner child to hear my grown-up self spin on. Another thought that is common for HSPs to have in such circumstance is, what is the point of living? That is not a helpful or useful thought. I would debate anyone who could make the argument that this is a good thought, unless you have a complete terminal illness and are at the end. What is the point of living to live? To squeeze the most joy out of our lives. What is the point of living? To explore the life that we have, because it is precious. And so therefore we explore it. If we're falling into a hole and our shame is asking us, what is the point of living? These are times we must reach into our tool belts for better tools than just feeling it all while we get buried under the 5-ton weight. The strategy cannot be to throw heavier thoughts and heavier thoughts and heavier thoughts on top of ourselves when we already feel down and buried. We just make the hole harder to crawl out of. Shame loves that. We need to tap our wise woman, our wise man in to handle things differently than how shame would. Our thoughts are very important and a first line of defense in such moments. One of my favorite thoughts given to me by a wise friend in a very dark moment of mine said to me half a lifetime ago, this is just a moment in time and it will pass. There were times where the younger woman I was would sit and rock and say this 100 times, 1,000 times for hours. This is just a moment in time and it will pass. And it proves true. Every moment has passed to bring me to a lighter moment. It's true. It's such a more useful thought than the desperation that builds from, I can't handle it. I no longer allow the thoughts that bring any desperation. Maybe this is a little bonus statement here. Do you need this one? I no longer allow the thoughts that bring any desperation. Or how about desperation is wrong for me? Life is at times astoundingly difficult and at other times miraculously beautiful. I am here for the full ride of this one precious life. Here's another idea. I no longer entertain the sneaky bastard of perfectionism. And I keep tuning into Emotional Badass to learn all of this demon's tricks. Y'all, I'm in my 20th year of practicing now. Perfectionism gets every single HSP I've ever met, but not all of them know it. When you knock over a glass and something inside of you goes, what an idiot! What that tells me is that some part of you expects you to never knock over a glass. It expects perfection out of you, or you're getting shame. Shame on you for not being perfect, for not being the perfect person that can walk through life and never spill a glass. The sneaky bastard of perfectionism has you overthinking, or a good enough answer would be easy to reach up there and grab. I think of myself as a maximizer. There is a fine line between me trying to maximize and experience Make it awesome and lovely versus shooting for perfect and being disappointed when it's not. If you're a similar maximizer, I bet you have that sneaky bastard of perfectionism that is on your tail. I mean it. Keep tuning into Emotional Badass to learn all of these tricks so that this sneaky bastard isn't sneakily tearing you down in this life. All right, the next one. I no longer waste time and energy wondering what goes on in the heads of others. This is a big one for highly sensitive people. Highly sensitive people, it's like they do emotional calculus with predicting what somebody else is thinking about. It is too much, y'all, and we think that we're worn out because other people are rude or not conscientious or unkind or dismissive. Yeah, okay, sure. But one of the primary ways we are wearing ourselves out is we are over-functioning and overthinking. People pleasers are over-functioners. Overthinking. You might not lift a finger to actually do anything, but if you sit there trying to think 40 steps ahead in a conversation, every which way it could go, thinking through what somebody else needs to think through, you're wearing yourself out. And if we're honest with ourselves, it never goes the way we think out. There's a balance there. It's okay to do a little bit of prediction, a little bit of planning, but it's in the incessant overthinking and wearing ourselves out and what if this and what if that, which is really an indecisiveness. Masking is trying to gather information. You're not gathering any information. Gathering information would be me going to that person going, hey, what do you think about this? That's gathering some information. That's just my story maker. Taking shame and anxiety and creating so much story, I don't ever risk opening my mouth to the person I'm thinking about. So it actually buffers me from risk and just keeps us spinning in confusion and not enough information. To convince ourselves that others are too busy to judge us, this is conventional wisdom, right? What any conventional helper healer out there in mental health is typical to say is other people are too busy. They're consumed with their own lives. They're not judging you. And I haven't really seen that work for a highly sensitive person. Why? Because I don't think it's the truth. I'm not alone in being raised by people who judged others more than they took breaths. So this idea of they're not judging you. No, they're just thinking about what they want to have for dinner. I get it, and I get what the idea is trying to do for people, but it just doesn't work. So what works better for me, what might work better for you, come to the Patreon and let me know what goes on in the minds of others about us. Better people, more mature people, people who self-develop, probably mostly love and light. Maybe they question or wonder or have some confusion about your choices sometimes. But they probably don't judge all that much. And if they do, they know that their judgment is for themselves and they release it. For worse people, for less mature people, for people with less kindness, they're judging nearly every single thing. From how I look, to how I speak, to how I walk, to how I dress, to my hair color, my hair cut, how ashy my skin is, how I breathe, how I chew, the way my eyebrows grow. There's something about acknowledging the truth of that for me that helps me exhale. Because I grew up with it, so I know this is real. Radical acceptance when you're scared of judgment is the key to freedom here. I radically accept that manipulative people, they're thinking all kinds of manipulative things about me. Okay, but I don't have to get wrapped up. How do y'all think I'm judged for doing this show? You might have a whole lot of love and light if I've helped you in your heart for me. You might have moments where you're really pissed off. Lots of my clients say, gosh, you piss me off in exactly the right way that I need to hear. That's why I want to work with you. But you can feel that I'm not just pissing you off to piss you off. It's through love. I get love and I get hate and everything in between. A bitter person, a hurt person hurts other people. A miserable person spreads misery. Somebody on the YouTube this morning called me the C word, and it just made me chuckle because I'm in just such full acceptance of this and don't take this personally. I no longer waste time and energy wondering what goes on in the heads of others, because I trust that every kind of thought happens, and I don't have to control for that. So other people are going to think whatever they're going to think, and then they're going to think more things, and they're going to think more things about the next person than the next person. They probably will forget about me fairly quickly. What a relief. We don't have to control for any of that. It is close to the end of the month when this episode is going to release, and I want you to consider that if you're waiting for your life to get peaceful before you're allowed to feel peace, to be more peaceful, that is not the way. Many people who want that to be the strategy, I'll be peaceful when life gets peaceful, are peaceful at the end. I want you to be able to be peaceful in your life no matter what is going on in your own personal mini world. There are strategies that can teach you how to do this if you didn't grow up learning that you're allowed to be peaceful even in the face of stress. Starting 30 Days to Peace at the beginning of a month helps you take 1 month out of your year to devote to you, just 5 to 10 minutes a day for 1 month of your life, to hone in on peace, practices that you can have for the whole rest of your life. Use code BADASS to save 30% off of the standalone course. To learn more about 30 Days to Peace, go to emotionalbadass.com/peace or click the link in the description, y'all. Here's another. I no longer fight to hold on to what I can't control, which is a surefire way to feel insane and exhausted. I let go with swiftness and ease when letting go is right. Let letting go be simple, y'all. Pick up a shoe, hold it, and then decide to let it go and just drop it. That's how you let go. We just decide and do it. Here's another. I no longer people please energy vampires, and I prioritize pleasing me. Then I entertain pleasing others, if it's right and I want to. I'm just going to say this one again before I move on. I no longer people please energy vampires, and I prioritize pleasing me. Then I entertain pleasing others if it's right and I want to. Here's another. I no longer hope the narcissist in my life will one day get it. Y'all, if I had $1 for every highly sensitive person that looked me right in the face and said, yeah, but I want them to get it. God, I want them to get it. Anybody who has ever tangled with someone with low empathy and low maturity, which is what narcissism essentially is, has beat their own head against the wall going, they have to get it. Some of these people have degrees, they have higher education, they are CEOs of companies, these are highly intelligent people. They must get it, and I will make it my mission. That's not right for our minds, our hearts, our bodies to have to be on a warlike mission to make the low empathy person grow empathy. It won't happen, y'all. If there was a way to make them get it, I would have figured it out. I'm convinced. I accept that narcissism in a personality means that growth and self-reflection are off the table and unavailable. It's like a language they can't speak and are disinterested in learning, no matter how much you care about them learning it. This is a freedom button, and only you can decide you've had enough of trying to break through, making another case, turning full lawyer, where you make a solid case of why they should be able to get it and can't avoid it. And when you've had enough of that, this acceptance, this self-affirmation is available to you if and when you want it, and if and when you're willing to practice it and emotionally strength train with it. I no longer hope the narcissist in my life will one day get it. I think this is the last one I've got for you. I no longer project my own empathy or conscientiousness onto other people. It's universal in human psychology for us to project. Somebody who manipulates and tells stories, they project that. That's why a cheater who cheats often comes home accusing their partner of cheating. It's like, wait a minute, you're the cheater, buddy, not the person you're accusing. What's that about? That's about projection. It's like, you're not going to get me because I'm doing something wrong, so I'll accuse you of cheating while I'm cheating. Projection. We project, just like a projector projects a picture onto a wall, we project our qualities onto other people. This is responsible for getting many an empath, many a highly sensitive person to entangle and ensnare themselves into a narcissist's life. I no longer project my own empathy and conscientiousness onto other people. I let them show me over time if their words match their behavior, if their heart has the capacity to meet mine. I can't learn this quickly, and I learn this over time. I practice patience. I lied. There's one more. I no longer play small and step into the full power of my choices. Explore the why and why you've played small, y'all. I've looked at this a lot in my life. A simple example is if I got a good grade because school was easy for me, it was a place where I thrived, and I was proud of myself, and I came home and announced I got a good grade on a project or a test, I'd sometimes be made to feel that I was doing something wrong to my siblings, that my success was hurtful to them, so I better hide it. I better be quiet and not exclaim that because they struggled academically in ways that I didn't. This taught me that I better dim my light or I'm being some kind of showy asshole. I'm being obnoxious. I'm being a bad girl. That's what it taught me. So I learned to be quiet about my accomplishments or my excitement or my gifts. It was as if I was taught that I cast a big old shadow, and it's my job to take care of the feelings of anyone who may step into that shadow. All people pleasers at a point learn that they better dim their own light, take a step back, not take center stage, and manage all the feelings of everybody else. If you've played small, figure out the messaging that taught you that and reframe it. You are your own authority figure as an adult. Only you can decide to step in and up for yourself, or you can choose not to. And both choices carry consequence. I no longer play small and step into my full power. So how did these ideas feel? Did one or two really jump out at you? If they did, maybe that's your system suggesting to spend a little time and energy with these ideas. If some of these ideas were new, what did they do to your thinking? Do you disagree with some of these ideas? Come tell me. Come say happy holidays. Come join the Patreon and share with us. And become a part of the backbone of Emotional Badass. Part of what you get when you sign up, other than all of the hours of content we have for you and to participate in the live stream Q&As, is you get a shout out. So I want to thank Pam and Aaron, Jedi and Sarah, Michelle, Jennifer, David. Thank you, Brenda, with a Y, Jane, Jacob, and D. If you come to the Patreon now today, you can vote on and give us feedback on what topic you want me to cover in the next live stream Q&As that are going to unfold in 2026. I would love your feedback. You get to inspire part of the content that we put out there into the world when you come and participate. It's a low stress, easy peasy place for you to log into when you want to and log out of when you don't want to. Come hang out with us at patreon.com/emotionalbadass. Light and love, y'all. I'm an emotional badass. You are an emotional badass. And together, we are where Moxie meets mindful. Take care of yourselves out there. And I'll see you next time right here for a brand new episode. Bye-bye.